Second Esdras 6:6. Then I considered these things, and they all were made through me alone, and through none other. By me also shall they be ended, and by none other. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times, and when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Call halal, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathens that look like the heathens. And to the Akwath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Greatmillstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And I just watched a episode of The Last of Us, being that this is the end of Esau's world. And there was an Edomite who was clearly a wolf in sheep's clothing, all right, reading the Bible, leading the people, but he was a whole cannibal and a murderer, all right, and a rapist, which is the true nature of the red man, all right, the pale man who's red, who was really Esau, Edom, that refer to themselves as white, kind of like the guy on the screen. And the funny thing is the guy in the series, well, if you gave him some blonde hair and put a little dirt on his face, he kind of looked like this guy right here. All right, not saying that this guy, is as sick as that bastard, but he does kind of look like the guy physically. But nevertheless, the guy actually was reading, because seeing that episode before I started this lesson actually kind of changed a few things. I was like, whoa, this is heavy. But let me find it. He was reading out of Revelation 21, wherein it says the tabernacle of, oh yeah, right here. Revelation 21:1, and it says, and I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. So that first heaven is basically, this heaven is talking about rulership, the rulership of Esau, Edom. His particular ruler, his time is up, all right? Esau, Edom's time to rule is up, all right? And it says, and I, John, saw the holy city of New Jerusalem coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. That's talking about the elect men, the 144,000, 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. And then that great multitude, mixed multitude, being the rest of the elect that was scattered among the heathen. Okay. And then it says, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there should be no more death, because they have new bodies and they have in the new covenant. All right. Neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. All right. And and then he read about how, the tabernacle of the Lord is with men. Well, it's not just with any man, it's with the elect man. And the elect man, well, they don't look like this guy, and they're never going to look like this guy anymore. All right, because some of our people are scattered among them. That's the things of the tares and the wheat. But it just goes to show you that this is the time that we're in, which is why they would put a show like that on TV. All right, so let's and we're speeding rapidly toward those days and toward those times, right? Those apocalyptic times. Because the guy was talking about, how he was a school teacher before he was a preacher. And basically he was like a Carnegie. If you remember the character Carnegie from the book of Eli. Carnegie didn't believe in the Bible. Didn't believe in God at all, he just believed in the power of religion and wanted to use the Bible to control the people again, which is the same thing that this guy was doing. All right. But the problem is now, these Edomites are trying to create a one world religion. I watched a video about the combination of Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. All right. Because this is what they're trying to do, a new world religion. All right. And the God of the Bible will not and does not mix with other so-called gods. All right. So the name of this video is called "Why Would They Do This? Things Are Getting Scary." All right. And this is from Full Spectrum Survival. So I'm going to start right about the 6-minute mark and let him go to about the 12-minute mark. So about 6 minutes of it. And then I'm going to interject with a few scriptures along the way.
In countries like Spain and France. Back to China. The Chinese Foreign Ministry has said that China opposes the White House's decision to ban TikTok, the application, from federal agencies. China considers this an abuse of state power. Imagine that, a communist country saying that the USA is abusing its state power to suppress foreign companies.
As if America has
a little bit of the, what do they say, the kettle calling the pot black. Kremlin spokesperson Peskov has said that NATO as a single bloc is no longer Russia's conditional opponent, but now its open and overt enemy.
Ooh, this is Jeremiah 49:20, and it reads, "Therefore hear the counsel of Yahawah that he have taken against Edom, and his purpose that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them." So these Edomites, especially the small hatters, as he's going to talk about even more so in a moment, is going to lead the rest of Edom and the rest of the heathen to war. All right, which is going to be the war to end all wars. And then Yahawashi, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is going to come and smash them all.
They have done everything except get on the front page of newspapers and said it's World War III. I want to ask you, when are you going to start living your life like World War III just started? Contaminated waste from the East Palestine is coming to Indiana, according to the EPA. This waste from the region, the train derailment there, has begun moving. It's heading to Indiana right now. 2 million gallons of liquid waste have been collected from the derailment site, and 2 hazardous waste sites will receive some of those shipments.
They're spreading that waste all around the country, and they're bringing it west because it was contaminating on its own going east. As a matter of fact, there was another derailment in I think it was Champaign, Ohio, or something. I forget. There was another derailment in Ohio, and there was also a breach of a man-made dam that was, supposedly holding back contaminated water, and the dam broke, and it released the flood waters of contaminated water right back into the neighborhood of already suffering and dying people. These people are already getting sick and dying. The children are getting sick. The people are getting sick, and they're literally dying from this stuff. The animals are dying. All right, and they've got nowhere to go. And this is happening to to so-called white people, man, and they're not being helped. Meanwhile, America's sending all this help and all this money over to Ukraine to support Nazis. The regime of government that's in Ukraine right now are Nazis. And I just find it strange that they're getting so much Israeli and Jewish support because, it's funny. Every time you corner them about something that they've done, they run to the whole, Holocaust thing. And I just was under the understanding that, they hate Nazis. But yet, America and Israel is supporting Ukraine. Just find it interesting. All right, but let's let him continue.
In short, the people, everybody downwind, so to say, everybody downstream from that is about to get dumped on.
Oh, you know what? That makes me think of second answers. I'm kind of going in the spirit here. I do have a couple scriptures written down, but, it's rolling in the spirit at this point. Maybe I get to some of those, maybe I won't. But That's that second Esdras 9 right there. The plagues are being released. This is second Esdras 9 and 1, and it reads, and he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, and that is happening unprecedentedly or worldwide like never before, at the same time that the currencies are collapsing, and at the same time that there's mass homelessness, and the same time that there's world war. So this is the end, man. All right, it says, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all in the world have a beginning and the end is manifest. So it's the Lord that's releasing these plagues and this madness into the world. All right. Because why? To bring Esau to a collapse, and a lot of the chaos Esau is bringing, because he's trying to get order out of chaos. But what they don't really realize is that, the Lord guides and controls men. People have this very ignorant and arrogant falsehood that they have free will. No, you don't. The Lord gives you your instructions in your sleep and in dreams and in visions and things of that nature, and he guides you to what you do what you want to do. It's like when they have some person in a murder trial and they can't figure out why they killed someone. They ask why they did it, and they're like, I don't know. They just, like, some person is a normal person. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just, do this horrific crime, and they can't even know why, because there be spirits created for vengeance. The Lord is very strategic with what he does. All right? He's very, very strategic. And he'll put you in the right place at the wrong time, or the wrong place at the right time, that judgment may be passed. Matter of fact, let me get that scripture before I continue on. It's in Ecclesiastes 39. Ecclesiastes 39. Salakia. There it is. It's 39 and 28. So Sirach 39:28, it reads, there be spirits created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force, and appease the wrath of him that made them. So it appeases the wrath of the Lord, or Yahawah, who the world ignorantly calls God, Yahweh, or Jehovah. All right, and it says, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. So when fires come and burn and kill and destroy, when the hail comes and kills people and livestock and animals, creates death and famine, all right, they were created for vengeance by the Lord, okay? And it said, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents and swords, punishing the wicked to destruction. So when that person, that man, or that woman picks up a knife and drives it into the body of, their ex-lover or the next door neighbor or whatever, the Lord guided them to do that. Okay? It says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions and serpents, and the sword, they pick up a gun, punishing the wicked to destruction. All right? They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they that shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when time is come, they shall transgress in his word. So basically, when your time is up in the kingdom of heaven, just like this kingdom's time is up, the Lord will put the spirit on someone else to carry out the judgment that is against you. Or he'll use the elements. He'll use rains, a storm, an earthquake, a tidal wave. He'll use a shark. He'll use a lion, a bear, a dog, a pack of dogs. He'll use the homeless guy. And he'll place you in that position to where you're vulnerable to them, and then they carry out the painful judgment against you. People don't know the Lord. It says it's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And we're living in a time when Esau Edom is committing all this wickedness, and he's drawing out the power against himself. All right. He's going to keep pushing these conditions. It's going to create this world war, which is going to draw everyone into it. All right. And it's going to be the small hatters more than likely that do that.
A governor of the Fed has said that changing the 2% inflation target will call into question the FOMC's commitment to stabilize inflation at any level, and it's going to lead people to suspect that the target will be changed opportunistically in the future. It's just what they've been doing all along. They said inflation's transitory, then they opportunistically changed this definition.
Well, they're operating in debt. This is Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long, and to him that layeth up himself with thick clay? See, the nations of the world have laid down with Babylon and used that greenback, that debt-based currency, all right, and everyone is connected to them. Their economies are crashing. Everyone that you know, the people, you have these allies that are forced to put sanctions on nations that they actually had business with, and it ends up hurting them while supporting America. America truly was for itself and not for its allies, and it showed through a lot of its actions that it could care less about the nations that are joined unto it. You know, it showed if it outright disregard to the welfare of some of their allied forces, and the allies are beginning to see that, and they're all beginning to hate, you know, the whore, and it's creating a very dark future for a lot of people. A lot of people are feeling very, very, defeated. So here we go. I don't know where I started in this. I thought I had it set up, but here we go. Right.
Origin of our recent pandemic. The Palestinian foreign minister has said that a disaster is in the making. A disaster will come, he says, if the international community does not step in and does not intervene in Israel's practices to wipe out the Palestinian region. Israel is going to have a lot of war on its hands soon, and America is going to get caught up in it. Iran could make enough fuel for one nuclear bomb in a 12-day period, says a top U.S. Defense Department official. Again, Israel is going to have a lot more war on its hands in the next couple of months.
Let me pause it right there. Yeah, because Jeremiah 50:45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahawah. He hath taken against Babylon and his purposes, that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So it's these Israelis and these Edomites collectively who are the least, and as far as racially in the world, that are going to draw the other nations and their allies into this last final war. You know, so the Lord is really using them to pick a fight, the same way he used Samson to constantly be going on into those Philistine women and to anger the Philistines to pick a fight with them just so he could destroy them. He's doing the same thing right now with Esau Edom. All right. Esau Edom is riling up and being built up just like Pharaoh, all arrogant and proud, only so that he can get beat down publicly before everyone. That was a movie called Never Back Down. All right. And there was a scene when, there was a viral video of a kid, who beat down like 3 or 4 people by himself, MMA guy. And the other MMA guy who was like the reigning champion got tired of everyone praising this new guy, and he followed him into the bathroom and basically put him in a compromising position that he couldn't get out of. And he said, I can wreck you right here, right now. But what fun would that be? It is a spectator sport. So he challenged them to meet me at the beat down. All right. So he's like, he said, I want to beat you down, but I want to beat you down in front of everyone. And that's what the Lord is doing. The Lord is going to beat these Edomites to pieces. He's going to break them into pieces and show you that they're not God, that they're not powerful, and then put them on the bottom. They go straight into slavery.
The number of renters who are earning more than $150,000 a month has grown by 82%, according to Rent Cafe. We talked about this recently, but I want you to really understand how bad that is. People have sold their homes. They've either gotten into new, higher than ever mortgages. I looked up a house the other day that a family member was trying to sell, selling it for double what it was a couple of years ago.
Well, and it's just going to show you that the future looks darkened for these people. There's no future. You know, we're thinking of Ecclesiastes 12:3. Matter of fact, let me just get it. All right. There really is no future. The whole system is collapsing. It's falling. There's not a whole lot of jobs or anything like that. You got a retail apocalypse happen all over again. Remember the dead malls. You know, before this pandemic hit. As a matter of fact, I believe that the pandemic was purposely pushed and brought to the forefront just to try to hide the retail apocalypse. You know, all these dead retail properties all over the countries, these empty malls that are turning into deserts now. But this is Ecclesiastes 12:3, and it says, and in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, no jobs, because they are few. All right, and this tech industry, remote industry work thing that a lot of these women make all this money from, that whole thing is about to get hit and be brought down as well. All right, especially with the ushering in of the new digital thing, you know, the new digital currency, and all these jobs are going to be replaced by robots and things and AI and all that. All right, and it says, and those that look out the windows be darkened, because they don't see a future. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And music really is disgustingly low. And there really isn't a future for this place, man. And people are desperate. All right. And people are starting to get more and more seditionist-like. All right, here it says, the New York Times, protesters damage property site of planned police center in Atlanta. The disturbance grew out of the demonstration among hundreds of activists in the forest being developed into a training center. All right. So these people, these protesters, these look like overturned, shitters, those outdoor urinal things, burning up stuff. All right. But it says protesters set vehicles ablaze after breaching the area they deride as Cop City. All right. It's really hatred toward the cops these days, but then cops have been so brutally brutally corrupt toward the people collectively. You can't really blame a lot of people for feeling the way that they feel about them. But it says this article was by Sean Keenan and Elizabeth Fawcett, and this is updated today. So this is the recent article. It says, Atlanta, hundreds of activists breached the site of a proposed police and fire training center in Atlanta's wooded outskirts on Sunday, burning police and construction vehicles and a trailer and setting off fireworks toward the officers stationed nearby. The Atlanta Police Department said 35 people have been detained, adding that the agitators also threw large rocks and bricks and Molotov cocktails. The destruction occurred on the second day on what is supposed to be a week-long series of demonstrations to protest the building of the Atlantic Public Safety Training Center, planned 85-acre campus owned by the city. The complex would include classrooms, amphitheater, and spaces where law enforcement officers can simulate shootouts and high-speed chases. Firefighters can learn to drive fire trucks and battle blazers opponents. This sounds like militarization of the police, man. All right, but this is and that's exactly what it is. This is let's go to 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter. I'm going to start at verse 15. And it reads, "For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're going to fight against the authorities. People are tired, and people see the authorities as being corrupt. And this police center that these people were trying to destroy the property, this is just a militarization of the stormtroopers, right? Like Star Wars, the Imperial, the dudes in they were all cloned in the white suits. Yeah, the stormtroopers are coming, and they're gonna be met with resistance. The end is nigh, and it's upon us. Stay prayed up. Call halal Yahawah Shai BAHASHAM Rakah HaKodash Wa Ababa Bal Kwam Yasharala Shalom.